Keep the Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock.
TK.
Rock. The Most High is my rock.
Rock.
The Most High is my rock.
My rock.
The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock.
Rock.
The Most High is my rock.
My rock.
The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutling. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you want to fly or do you
Keep the Bible on.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
And welcome to the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're located at 8524 South Braidwood Boulevard, Houston, Texas, 77071. Our class times are Monday and Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., Friday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And Shabbat morning class from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then we go out into the streets. We also have another location out in Virginia at 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. Their class times are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We also have another location out in Albuquerque, San Antonio, Texas. And their address is 4444 Walton Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, 78218. We have other avenues of getting this word. You can listen to Priest Mashaba on the Blog Talk and a wide variety of other teachers. You can find that at blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba. Our other Israelite channels that we have, our other YouTube channels that we have the channel that you're on right now, the Norfolk channel, which we need to get the subscriptions up for that one. We need like about 150 more subscriptions there so they can do live events. We have the 5 Minutes of Wisdom, the Hidden Truth, Bible Show, and the Israelite Media Corps. So check all those different avenues of YouTube, so you can get the word out and so that you can study for yourself and get sharp. Israel Wear, they're accepting orders. They have a fringed up subscription where you can get a t-shirt for $35 a month. It's a monthly subscription, so for $35 you'll just keep having shirts come in every month. Or you can get the shirt and a headband for $75 a month. Very dope shirts, very dope headbands. You can see the quality of these brothers' headbands here. Very on point. We are starting to work on another Unity garment. So September's Unity garment will include a headband, camp shirt, and camo pants for $160. The deadline to have the money submitted will be September 6th. So if you want to have the Unity garment, so we're all in unity together. So when we go out in street speak or we go out to hand flyers, we're all in unity, very uniform. We also have the Hebrew Academy. Hebrew Academy, we do it here in Houston, and I believe they're going to be starting in Virginia very soon on Tuesdays and Thursdays. For those of you that are not in the Houston area, we do offer the Zoom, and we try to keep everyone connected on the Zoom. And if you're in the Houston or surrounding areas, come on down to the school. You know where we're at. If you need to reach a priest or teacher, you can reach Priest Kazaki at 757-300-4047. Or you can reach Priest Quatazat, which is on my far left, at 303-557-8979. Please text only during class. We ask that you would support our business, Sweet Ambiance, where you can get your body oils, your fragrant cologne oils, your fragrant perfume oils, as well as something to burn in the house. We also have your bath salts, your soaps. So check it out. Lots of good products, and again, it helps support the school. If you want to make any donation, you can drop that into the Wells Fargo account, or you can Zelle it to us. We're also in need of books, pens, papers, apocryphers, Bibles, dictionaries. A camp vehicle would be nice. A camp van would be nice. If you're able to send any of that to us, please contact Priest Quatazop and he'll give you a good address where you can send that to.
Yeah, and as far as we know we switched over to for the alms, we switched over to Zelle. But if that's giving anybody any problems, or if you don't have Zelle, you can continue to send it to the Google, the isbhpk@gmail.com. All right. Remember, we are asking brothers and sisters for a little help with the upcoming rents for the school. So we know that some of y'all been helping out, been giving towards that. For those of you that want to help out, you can do that through the Zelle, or you can continue to do it through the Google Wallet. You know, sometimes when you switch up the different platforms, it makes things complicated. So, but yeah, again, if you want to help out with the school rent, isbhpk@gmail, or you can send it through the Zelle. Okay? That's it?
Yes, sir.
That's it for the announcements. What we got?
So today's classes, we're going to be going over pretty much the Israelite clothing and what should be our clothing. How do we cover ourselves? How do we go about, our pretty much our garments and our appearance, things of that nature, right? So we're gonna start Judith chapter 10 and verse 3, and the reason why we're hitting this class is because, it's for like, you'll get a lot of brothers and sisters that just come into the truth, and they're like, man, how should I dress? We already know about, a lot of the basics. A woman shouldn't wear pants, man shouldn't wear that which pertains to a woman, and vice versa. But it is a little bit deeper than that. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna touch on that angle. What is the deeper angle on the dress code, right? So let's start here. Let's start at Judith.
And let me say one thing, even without getting deep into it, another reason why we gotta go over this is because you still have brothers that are coming in from the world, and they'll throw on the fringe shirt, they'll throw on the head
Yeah.
what
okay.
is this?
I know where you're going.
They'll throw on the headband. Sorry, I got a bad headache. But they'll throw on the headband, but then they'll be sagging their pants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have their pants sagging. And we've seen it. I've seen it. And they're trying to mix the two different cultures together. And we get it. They're coming up out of the world. But one of the first things is that, you're going to dress the part. You got to kind of be the part. You shouldn't be sagging your pants anyway. You got the women. They know that they're Israelites. They put on a dress, but the dress is like skin spandex type, where, yeah, you got on a dress, but it wasn't just having on a dress. The dress needed to be modest also, where it wasn't so tight and it accentuated all the curves. No man besides your husband.
You gotta say it, because I always say it. So no man besides your husband should know what the shape of your body is. If you have a scar, that's not. If you have a scar like on your thigh, no man should know if you have a scar on your thigh. If you have a scar on your not a scar, but if you have like a mole, birthmark, no other man should know that. No man should really know your curvature.
No other man should know the contours of a married woman's body, and we know that men that are in the spirit ain't on that. Mm-hmm. But as a woman, you don't want to walk around and put that out there, because that causes that lust, that confusion. You know, oh, you was checking out my woman. No, I wasn't checking her out. But it's hard to not look when, you know,
It's all
she's
out
walking when it's already out there. You know, she's looking like Cardi B in that WAP video where she had both her breasts out and they were just covered by nipple covers. You know, sisters shouldn't be walking around like that. We know sisters ain't walking around like that. I'm being extreme. But, you know, even there's a level to, you can dress with a dress on, but it can still be it can still be not considered Israelite attire.
Yeah.
A brother can have a fringe shirt, he can have on the head, everything, and he's sagging his pants, and it takes away from the validity of what we're trying to promote.
And even on that point,
Yep, like this sister right
one
here.
of the points that we're gonna hit in class. One of the points that we're gonna hit in class is you can't have on fringe garment, dress, headwear with fringes on it and all that and claim to be an Israelite when your spirit is trash. And we get it when you first come into the knowledge, your spirit is a little off. Of course, we're coming from the world; it's a little dirty, but there was supposed to be a change that happened over time, and you see it a lot of times, man, where these people are Israelites, but their garments will be looking nice on the outward, but inward, they're trash. I mean, I hate putting it like that, but that's how it is. Inward is like you might as well still have your pants sagging. You might as well still be rolling around with your red and blue and your black flag, and you might as well still be throwing up gang signs. You might as well still be moving like that. You know, so, but just off of what you're saying, hold that, Judith. Somebody give me Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 19. I was going to put the scripture in earlier, but I didn't know where to put it. But just off of what you're saying, we got to hit it. We'll go to Leviticus 19 and verse 19.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 19. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed.
Go ahead.
Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee.
So this is the point that I wanted to get to. You read that last part again.
Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee.
So this is the law, right? It says you can't let linen and woolen, you can't wear both at the same time. But we're not going to touch the carnal aspect of it. We're going to touch the spiritual aspect of it. So the spiritual aspect is you can't mix, right? And it's like what you were saying. You can't come from the world and you have on your Israelite garment, your headband, and you're sagging your pants. It don't work like that. You can't mix, like the scripture is saying, you can't mix woolen and linen. That's speaking in the carnal sense, but when you bring it to the spiritual sense today, because we know we're in captivity, we can't really help that. We don't have the means and the money to help that. To be able to just wear all linen or all woolen. We don't have the funds to be able to keep that 100%, right? But when you look at it spiritually, it's still talking about mixing fabrics, right? So you can't mix the old man with the new when you come in. You can't come in and, as a sister and dress like an Israelite woman, but inwardly you still move like Beyonce, or you move like Cardi B, or you move like Jezebel, right? So let's go to Judith chapter 10 and verse 3. Let's go into the class.
The book of Judith, chapter 10, verse 3.
Go ahead.
And pulled off the sackcloth which she had on.
So start at verse 2.
Verse 2. She rose where she had fallen down, and called her maid, and went down into the house in the which she abode in the Sabbath days, and in her feast days, and pulled off the sackcloth which she had on.
So, quick synopsis of what's going on, right? Judith's husband he passed away. His name was Manasseh, like the tribe of Manasseh. Mm-hmm. So, Manasseh. So, her husband passed away, right? So, your husband passes, of course, you're going to be in sackcloth. We wore sackcloth as a sign to show what? Grieving, mourning, low estate, stuff like that. So that's why she had on her sackcloth, right? Go ahead.
And put off the garments of her widowhood.
Go ahead.
And washed her body all over with water.
Go ahead.
And anointed herself with precious ointment.
So, another quick synopsis of why she's doing this. So, pretty much, she's gonna try to go into. I forgot who we were going to war with at this time, but she was gonna try. She was, when you read the whole story of Judith, she went in. They were gonna come and they were gonna take over Israel. They were gonna kill all of us. She went in and pretty much finessed the captain of their army and was able to kill him. Her and her maid. She went in, finessed them, pretty much went in, killed the captain of the army, took off his head, and took his head back to Israel. Took his head back to our city, to our camp. So when they woke up that morning, the rest of the army, they went in and they saw him with his head cut off. And they was like, what the hell? How is his head cut off? How did this happen? And that killed their whole zeal. And then, of course, Israel came out and destroyed them. But she took the head and brought it back to Israel. They had surrounded the city. They were finna starve us out just like they did in the siege of Jerusalem. When you read about us eating our babies, that's a war tactic that happened to us like maybe 3 times in the scriptures, if I'm not mistaken. So they were doing that war tactic again, where our people were starving, they were thirsty, and that's when Judith went out and she saved our nation. So she's putting off the sackcloth. This is before she goes to do it. So she put off the sackcloth. Her husband passed. She's wearing that sackcloth, that garment of her widowhood, right? And it says she washed her body, anointed herself with oil. Go ahead.
And braided the hair of her head.
Go ahead.
And put on attire upon it.
So she braided her hair and she put the little circle thing. I don't know if it's a scrunchie. It's a scrunchie. It might be a scrunchie, but she said that she put that on her head, right? She was beautifying herself. Go ahead.
And put on her garments of gladness.
She did what?
Put on her garments of gladness.
So she washed herself, anointed herself, braided her hair, got herself looking good. And this was her garments of gladness. Read.
Wherewith she was clad during the life of Manasseh, her husband.
So when her husband was alive, this was how she dressed. This is how she dressed for her husband. So the point that I'm trying to hit in going here is to show, like, yes, you were in the world, you dress filthy in the world, but you come into the truth, you still should have you should still have a love for how you dress. Not saying that you take it all the way overbalanced and you're all about the way that you dress and that you're carnal and that your looks is everything. Not saying that. But what I am saying is that you take a care about your appearance. You take a care about how you look. But why? But it shows you right here that she did this for her husband.
That's
she
right.
did this to make her husband while he was alive. This is how she dressed when she was glad. So wives, if you have a husband, just because now you're an Israelite, you learn the truth, it don't mean that you stop caring for the way that you look. It don't mean that at all. It means have a care for your body. Still keep your appearance up. Dress nice. Dress nice. Wear nice dresses so your husband can see you and be like, oh man, you're gorgeous. But there's a way that Judith went about the way that she dressed. Get your hair done. If you have the money, if you have the funds, get your hair done. Go to the beauty store. Let them curl your hair. Let them look nice for your husband is what I'm saying. But of course, we're gonna hit the balance side in the rest of the class where we get the understanding that it's not about all that.
Oh, so when you find out you're Israelite as a woman, that don't mean you're supposed to walk around wearing sackcloth all the time?
Nah.
And looking homeless or looking like I hate my life or I'm in torment. I can't dress the way I want to dress, so I just gotta wear a paper bag over me or a sheet over me.
Listen, man, we're Israelites. We're the salt of the earth.
Bring it out.
That's right.
Be the salt of the earth. Don't walk around like these Muslims with a curtain, with the whole black curtain from head to toe, and your eyes is just like this.
Looking like ninjas.
Don't do that. That's not what the Most High wanted for us. Beautify yourself.
Yes, sir.
We're beautiful colors, man. And we're gonna see. Read verse 4.
And it's just like, it's like the stigma that people think because you get into the scriptures, because you're an Israelite, all of a sudden, like, you got to be like this bum.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't supposed to have nothing. Right?
God.
Like, well, Christ made himself poor for us to be rich, and that means that, well, we're supposed to just be broke, bum, dirty clothes, breath stinking. Because this goes for the men, too, where,
Of
you know,
course.
just because you get the knowledge, yeah, it says oppression make a wise man mad, but that don't mean that you got to go into, like, just bum a state, where all of a sudden you don't wash your clothes, you don't take care of yourself. You know, even when you're fasting or not fasting, you always look like you're fasting. Right? No, we're supposed to, and I hate using it, but you have to understand the way it's being said. We are supposed to take pride in our appearance. Meaning what? You are supposed to make sure you look presentable when you step out your doors, man.
Con.
Think about it. Yahweh Shai wore a golden girdle. Yahweh Shai wore a golden girdle. Thank you. That represented royalty. Right? So he was showing that, hey, he had some type of prestige. He cared about his appearance, his outlook. Think about it. We throw on our garments, right? Scriptures say, beautify thyself. Throw on your beautiful garments.
God.
Right? But the mentality is that my garment ain't going to speak for me as far as my level of wisdom, my level of knowledge. The garment is not the end-all, be-all, the hair wrap, the dress.
Yeah.
When I present myself physically, you're going to understand what I'm about. Then when I speak, that's going to solidify what you thought I was about.
Con.
Right? And it could go either way. You can speak foolishly and speak without wisdom, and people go, oh yeah, he's a fool. Or you can speak intelligently, certify yourself as a man, as a woman that says she opened her mouth with wisdom, with knowledge. Right? Think about, who was it? Abigail. Right? They said Abigail was beautiful. But was it just her beauty that stood out to David? No, it was her wisdom. It was the way she spoke to David that was more important to David than her looks. David could have got beautiful women from anywhere, but you know, it wasn't about the beauty. And that's the thing where our women weren't walking around looking just oh, I'm married now, so I ain't got to take care of myself. The men weren't, oh, I'm married now, so I'm going to just let myself go. David was married 10 times over. He didn't just let himself go. Right? So, you know, we can't be in that mentality, because even that's what they do in the world, man. It's like, oh, I found my life partner, so now I don't have to keep the same energy I had before I met him.
Yeah.
Right? And what happens? What happens in that type of situation? Carnality starts to set in. That man is like, see, you letting yourself go. I gotta go find something else that's younger and tighter, right? That's keeping in shape, right? You see what I'm saying? But and we know it's not about those things. You know, it's about a woman's spirit. It's about a man's spirit. But the physical is there to be desired also. It's there to be had also. We can't. Let's not be naive. All right? Let's not be naive and act like, you know, physical appearance is not a factor. Because it is. It's not supposed to be the factor, but it is a factor. You're not going to go get with somebody you're not attracted to. Right or wrong? I mean, let's be honest. You want to have some type of level of attraction, right? And if you've got with a person off of the little bit of attraction that you have for them, you would just hope that they kept that going. So just because we come into the knowledge don't mean we just... The knowledge is supposed to keep you healthy. It's supposed to keep you lively. It's supposed to keep that joy. It says wisdom lift up the head, right?
Come.
It said that a man's face shine bright when he got wisdom. A woman too, same thing. It said a beautiful woman cheereth the countenance of her husband.
Come.
You know, it's all these things. It wouldn't say that if it wasn't there. So let's not be over righteous and naive, like, oh, see, but desiring not a woman for her beauty. But you gonna go get with you an ugly woman? You gonna go find something that you think is ugly to get with? No, nobody's gonna do that. Right? Abhor not a man for his beauty. Okay, but a woman ain't gonna go get with the ugliest dude on the block. Right? You want to be with somebody that's attractive. to you, right? But at the same time, we know that that is not the full measure of a relationship like how they teach in the world. It's always physical, right? You gotta test drive the car before you buy it, right? So that means what? Sleep around with everybody until you find the one, right? Or he gotta look like he gotta look like Genuine, right? Or Shamar Moore, right? He gotta look right. He gotta look like one of them, or them cats is light skinned, so let's get a dark skinned guy. He gotta look like Morris Chestnut. Oh, you thought I didn't know no dark skin? He gotta look like Morris Chestnut, right? He's dark, him dark, right? Handsome. But we know that it's not about that, right? Where you at?
Judith chapter 10, verse 4. And she took sandals upon her feet, and put about her bracelets, and her chains, and her rings, and her earrings, and all her ornaments, and
Start over from the top.
Judith chapter 10, verse 4. And she took sandals upon her feet, and put about her bracelets, and her chains, and her rings, and her earrings, and all her ornaments.
So
and
Judith had carnal possessions that made her look beautiful. Let's be real. When you read in Ezekiel, the Most High said, how did he beautify us?
He gave us all those things.
He gave us all those things. He said he put a jewel in our forehead. He put a bracelet on us. He put us in nice attire. Right? Because that's what beautifies. And you know, it's appeasing and pleasing to the eye. Right? Right. Go ahead.
and decked herself bravely to allure the eyes of all men that should see her.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Wait, somebody what?
read that part again.
Yeah.
Wait,
It says,
somebody-
And decked herself bravely
go ahead.
to allure the eyes of all men that should see her.
So like I said during the story, right?
Uh-huh.
She was going in for a purpose to trick, to pretty much finesse the captain of the army, and that's what she did. But it said that she wore the garments that she wore while her husband was alive, right? But the way that she wore it this time was to allure the eyes of all the men that see her. So am I saying that, are we saying that you dress nice to allure every single man that sees you, or any other man that sees you other than your husband? That's not what we're saying. What we are saying is, if you have a husband, you definitely, that same connection that y'all had, you know when y'all first got together,
Yep.
y'all dress nice for each other. I'm gonna wear my all white Air Forces, no crease, no dirt. I'm gonna wear that.
Extra
For-
starch jeans.
Yeah.
Shirt.
You do all that.
What era are y'all in? Like 2001? Starch, jeans, and Air
Hey.
Forces? What?
Air Forces never go out of style.
Cats. You cats.
I don't know about the star. I don't know about the star jeans
Y'all
though.
are stuck in like
I don't know about the star jeans,
like
but
country grammar days with Nelly. What's
Look,
that?
being clean and crispy never goes out of style.
Oh man,
yeah.
that
So
definitely went out of style. Putting creases in your jeans.
so pretty much what I'm saying is the same way y'all were when y'all got together.
I never did it, so that's
It's-
why.
Nah.
It is the same way. You want to try to keep that throughout your relationship, and that's the fight. You know what I mean? The same way, you know, you might hold the door for her. Hey, babe, get in. It's the same way you want to try to keep that throughout your relationship, right? Because over time, yes, we know that it might, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, it might start to get a little old or stale. Well, nah, you got to try to keep it. You got to try to keep it moving, right? But jump to verse 19.
And real quick, because the sister asked, Shalom, can we color our hair? Now, when you go through the scriptures, you don't really read about women coloring their hair,
Yeah.
or even men for that matter. We know we rock different colors and things like that, but are you gonna go color your hair pink or color your hair blonde if it's not? No. Now, you do have, and I'm gonna say this, it's really up to your husband. Can you color your hair? There's no scripture that says thou shalt not color thy hair. That goes along with even makeup. Some men don't like their woman to wear makeup, or it is like the lipstick or the lip gloss or just a little bit of foundation. It's up to your husband how he wants you to appear, because this is the thing. We know that, like we're reading in this Judith, right? Why was she getting all decked out?
She was on a mission.
She was on a what?
On a
She
mission.
was on a purpose, man. And when you read that, she walked through. This is where she walked through that army, right? Yeah, she walked through an army of men in the midst of a battle, and they all were mesmerized, and was able to walk and cut another man's head off. Right? So, you know, think about in the world, man, when a woman would step out the house in extra tight clothes, extra makeup, super extra long weave or not, but just the way she moved around and presented herself, what did it do? Like, oh, she's a crowd stopper, right? But was that always a good thing for her to be a crowd stopper? Because then she would garner that attention, and a lot of that attention would be negative attention. You know, not saying that it's the woman's fault, but a lot of these women get raped out in these streets because of the way they present, not just what they wear, but it's the way they present themselves and what they wear. Meaning, they'll have the skin tight everything, and then they move around loose as hell and act like they want to be around and be with every man. A man that's not in his right mind take that wrong, and he thinks that's for him to go take. Right? So I'm not blaming the women. It's a two-person deal where not every chick that dresses scandalous is going to be taken advantage of, because you have women that get raped that are just got on regular clothes. You can't see nothing because niggas is just sick. Right? But going back to the hair, that would be up to your husband. Now, let's say you wanted to dye, you know, the woman wanted to dye her hair like they had that little see somebody did a little burgundy color or black. You know, that's up to your husband, whatever he likes. You know, but if you're trying to go blonde, were you born blonde? No. Why go blonde? We know who got blonde hair, right?
That's right.
Right. And that's the problem with our sisters. They're chasing after this white woman look. Not saying the sister online is, not saying that Marcy's doing that, but a lot of our sisters is like, well, I want to color my hair. What's the first thing they do? They go get blonde weaves. They go get blonde weave that's cut like a white girl. You know, so go to Proverbs 3:31 real quick, just on that.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31.
Go ahead.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Right, so you got to ask yourself, what do you want to color your hair for? Who are you doing it for? Does your husband approve? Or are you doing it for you to stand out in some way that's not necessary? Are you trying to garner the attention? You got to ask yourself. I'm just throwing these questions out, but ask yourself, why does a Beyonce blonde her hair? Her hair ain't naturally blonde. When they first came out, her hair was dark like everybody else's. Destiny Child, her hair, she had black hair, just like Michelle, just like all of them. Right? The other little one had like little burgundy colored hair. That ain't a real hair color. Right? But you got to ask yourself, why do you want to color your hair? For what purpose? You trying to cover up some grays? Okay, I get that. You want to keep it young and sexy. You know, you get your natural color that your hair already is, and you want to cover up those streaks. That's still up to your husband. He might like the grays. You know what I'm saying? He might not mind the gray hairs. But you got to ask yourself, who are you doing it for? Well, I want to cover up my grays. Well, I'm not tripping on your grays. Okay, that should be the end of it. But no, I don't want to. Because are you trying to do it for everybody else's eye and attention? But then you got to understand, what do you attract when you know, the excess makeup, the crazy hair colors. You know, remember, we are a colorful people. You know, the Most High said we are the salt of the earth.
God.
Again, you can't. I haven't read in any scriptures where it talked about women coloring their hair, just straight coloring their hair. But you know, so with that, we lead us up to the husband's discretion. Derek, and then
yeah. What does the scripture mean? Leviticus 13:30.
let's go there. Leviticus 13:30.
And then Lashana asks, can we get braided hair extensions?
Can
Can we get braided hair extensions?
So can you? Okay, let's do 13:30 real quick.
Right. The book of Leviticus, chapter 13, verse 30.
Right.
Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin,
Right.
and there be in a yellow thin hair,
Right.
then the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
Right.
It is a dry scald,
Right.
even a leprosy upon the head
Wait,
or
what
beard.
is, what is it? Read the last part.
It is a dry scald, even a leprosy,
Is what?
even a leprosy
Come on.
upon the head or beard.
Right, so this is going into the plague of leprosy. This ain't got nothing to do with hair color. This is when a person is hit with leprosy and their hair naturally changes color. So what you'll have is, let's see here. When you read up, if a man, watch. All you gotta do is read verse 29. Wow.
Verse 29.
Read.
If a man or woman have a plague upon the head
Right,
or
a
the
plague,
beard.
a plague upon the head or on the beard. So this is not just a man thing or a woman thing. This is the plague of leprosy. When you go through all of this 13, when you go to 13, I believe 14, this is all going into like leprosy and baldness. You see what I'm saying? Who asked it? Oh, Derek.
Yeah.
Right. This is going into like leprosy, baldness, different skin ailments. Plague. They got the leprosy in your house, or what we know today as black mold. Right. So this is what that Leviticus is going into. This is talking about, how to spot the different signs, because you have different levels of leprosy. You see that? You had it where you had the raised bump, and they would separate them for 7 days, check to see if the bump went away. If it went down, then they let them back in. They had to where it was scab over, the hair would turn yellow. So it's giving you the different types of leprosies and the different things to do. Right.
But you know, our women, we don't want to. Y'all don't want to walk around looking like you got leprosy.
Because ain't that what Esau looks like? They got leprosy.
That's right.
They got dead hair. Their whole blonde hair is dead. So again, that's why I'm at. That's why I'm throwing these little questions out. Cause we get this question, we haven't gotten in a while, but we've heard it before. Like, can I color my hair? That's up to your husband. But I throw in, and we like to throw in, what is the purpose? What are you trying to achieve in coloring your hair? Go even with the can we get braided hair extension? So you're basically asking, can you get hair weave? That's up to your husband. That's up to your husband. No, the thing is, in the scriptures, there's not a thou shalt not or thou shalt when it comes to the makeup, when it comes to the hair coloring, when it comes to the hair extensions. Now, I'll hit you with this right here. I'll hit you with, all I can do is just give you the scriptures, right? Check this out. Go to Psalms 119 and verse 4.
1920.
Psalms 119 and 4. Again, there's no thou shalt not get braids and weave. But again, I went through this on Saturday. Right. You gotta look. Think about it. If you're wearing unnatural hair, synthetic hair, you gotta understand, what are you putting on your body? Right? What are you putting on your body, and what are you not putting in your body to promote natural hair growth? You got to weigh out what's going on. We use, no hair growth. The Most High is trying to show you something about you.
That's right.
Bottom line. When you got leprosy, the Most High is trying to show you something about you. So if you can't do something that's so natural, like, and I'm not bragging on no sisters, because I ain't got no damn hair, but if you can't do something natural like grow hair, then you got to see, okay, what's going on with me spiritually and physically, diet-wise, right? But read this, Psalms 119 and verse 4.
Psalm 119, verse 4.
Right?
Thou hast commanded us to keep
119 and 104.
119 and 104.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Psalm chapter 119, verse 104.
Right?
Through thy precepts I get understanding.
Go ahead.
Therefore, I hate every false way.
The Most High said he hate every false way. False hair. It ain't real. He didn't give it to you. Again, this is up to your husband to determine if he wants you to wear extensions, how long, how thick. That's up to your husband. That's for y'all to discuss, because then you get to see and assess, what am I really trying to put out there? Again, why do most chicks want to get the weave.
Yep.
Song, what you got?
I got 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23.
Read it.
All things are lawful for me,
Right?
but all things are not expedient.
Right?
All things are lawful for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It don't say thou shalt. It don't say you can or can't. But is it expedient? See, can I go here real quick? Can I go to Peter's? Or you already got it in there?
I mean, might as well.
Let me go to Peter's real
Might
quick.
as well.
See, this is what
It's already,
we're already in there, right?
yeah, it's already like thrown off.
Is it?
A little bit.
Can you go back?
1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 23.
No, I'm gonna have to jump.
Go to 1 Peter's real quick, 3.
1 Corinthians 3,
Yeah.
verse 1.
Nope. You're gonna go down to, yeah, there. Yeah, might as well. 3 verse 1. Might as well.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection,
Subjection. Right.
to your own husbands,
Mm-hmm.
that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the conversation of the wives.
Right. Because what it's saying is be subject to your husband. What he wants you to do, what he wants you to wear, the amount of makeup he wants. If he wants zero makeup, zero makeup. If he wants you to go get the extensions, get the extensions. If he don't want you to rock the weave, don't rock the weave. That's up to him. But the woman got to be in subject to that. Why? Because the conversation of wives is gonna be like, girl, don't listen to him. You need to get what you want. That's your hair. That's your face. You can put on like, you see what I'm saying? You start getting won over by that conversation. What does that cause in the house? Discord. Read on.
While they behold your chaste conversation.
Your what?
Chaste conversation.
It was about having a chaste convo. What does chaste mean? A chaste virgin. She's restrained. To be chaste means to be restrained. To hold back. Right? Modest. So it was about having a modest conversation. It wasn't about hair weave and makeup. Hair color. Go ahead.
Coupled with fear.
Right? Coupled with what?
With fear.
Fear for your husband. Now think about it. Look at the ones that's coloring their hair right now. Listen, I seen that Cardi B video with Megan Thee Stallion. Y'all might want to take YouTube away from all y'all kids. I mean, the thing is, it ain't nothing new than what I've seen. Like, it ain't nothing new. Like, Lil' Kim was running around doing the same garbage. Foxy Brown, same garbage. What's her name? Nicki Minaj, same trash. Got their butt cheeks out. But it's the things that they're doing on the camera, then the mouth movements, and then look what they got. The hair color. Yup. She got the green to go with the green attire. The lime bright green. Megan Thee Stallion had the purple with the gray streaks looking like Storm from X-Men. Right? It's like they throw these things out there for the young women to gravitate to. Then they run through the hood looking like Ronald McDonald, red weave, pink weave, looking like the damn Joker, purple and green. They put it out there because that's what they want people to grab onto, is that outward appearance. Where we should be looking at much more than just the outward. Go ahead.
Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair.
Right, so again, is it saying that you can't be beautiful with nice garments on the outward? Of course. Of course you can be beautiful. Of course you can have nice garments. Of course you can do your hair. Of course you can get it braided up. Of course you can smell good.
Can I read this real quick?
What you got?
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 8, but this is going to be in the NCV, right? It says, put on nice clothes and make yourself look good and enjoy life with the wife you love.
Right.
When you read it in Ecclesiastes 9 and 8, it says, let thy garments be always white.
Meaning clean, right?
Yeah, clean.
Presentable.
And then it says, and let thy head lack no ointment. So always have on some nice fragrance. Make sure that you smell good. So, that's just to get the balance on what you were saying, because it don't mean that you don't.
Because what does it
present yourself
promote?
nice.
It's gonna make you. I was reading something about the whole quarantine and like fragrances, and you had this one woman. She was saying that, one of the ways she cheered herself up I'm not saying to go do this, but it does work, and it smell. She would get like her 5 best like perfumes that she liked, and even though she was in the house, she would and just be in the house, just smelling good. Damn, that smells good. Like, cause smell brings those good memories. It smells like 80% of your memory.
You know, another thing too about this, about looking good. Think about how they portray anybody in the Bible on TV.
Bummy.
They walk around bummy flip flops, feet ashy, dirty, even though they're Edomites. Tacky clothes. The women is always tacky. They just look like they suffering and they going through it. They look like they don't even shower. They look like they don't brush their teeth. Their hair is not done. Their beards just look wild. It just looks really bad. So whenever you see any thing regarding the scriptures on TV, that's always how they put it.
The depictions of the Israelites is always
really bad.
Yeah. Like,
so then you look at that, and then subconsciously you think like,
I gotta be a bum too.
I guess this is it. I guess this is how I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, humble attire.
That ain't even humble attire. That what they put on the TV.
That's vagabond.
That's just vagabond. Yeah.
Yeah, that's vagabond Jew wear.
And then we look at that, and then we're like, I guess that's how it is. But that's not how it is. Remember, the Most High chose us to be ambassadors, and for Him. Mm-hmm. So when you saw Solomon being a king, and you saw Solomon's doorman, they said that they thought the Queen of Sheba thought that Solomon's doorman. So we're heirs to the throne. We're a nation of kings and priests and princesses and queens. So we're heirs. That's what we're gonna get. So why not carry yourself a certain type of way?
Right. Go ahead. Finish. Where you at, Peters? So we know that it's not about the outward appearance. That our women did look good. The men, they look good. They smell good, right? But that wasn't what was the hole where you at. Yes, go to
and if I could say too, it's definitely not the outward appearance, right? But I ain't gonna lie to y'all right now. I feel good as hell.
You feel good in your garment.
in my garment. I feel good as hell, and I'm saying that because think about when you were in the world, how good you felt when you had on some nice gear. You felt good as hell, man or woman. When you had on some nice gear, you got you a fresh cut. You got your hair done. You feel good. Right? Now, why wouldn't you want to feel that way being in the truth? Again, it's not like okay, we spending $2,000 on Balenciagas. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not the 2 mile long hair extensions. It's not that. It's not I'm gonna wear this, show all the cleavage in the world and dress and do it like how the world does it. That's not the outward adorning that the scripture is talking about. That's not what it's talking about. I mean, that is the outward adorning that the scripture is talking about, the negative side, right? But us as Israelites, we can and we still should look nice, look presentable. I ain't gonna lie, I got on some boots right now. I've had these boots for 2 years. I'm like, is something wrong with the boots? No. But I'm like, it's time for some new boots. It's time for some new boots. Why? Well, if I got the means for it, why not? You know why? Because I'm a representation of the Most High, and we're going into it right now through the carnal side. But as we go on, we're going to go in through the spiritual side.
Right. Go to Ezekiel real quick. We know it's not about the outward appearance.
Yeah.
Why can't it be? Go to Ezekiel 16. I want you to put 16 and 13.
Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 13.
Go ahead.
Thus was thou decked with gold and silver.
Read.
And thy raiment was of fine linen and and silk, embroidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou wast exceeding beautiful.
Right.
And thou didst prosper into a kingdom.
Now check this out, 14.
And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty.
For thy wisdom.
For thy beauty.
For thy knowledge.
For thy beauty.
For thy piety towards the Most High.
For thy beauty.
See, you can't be known for your beauty. There's a problem. Read.
For it was perfect through my comeliness,
right,
which I have put upon thee, saith the Most High power.
Go ahead.
Verse 15. But thou didst trust in thy own beauty.
In the Most High?
But thou didst trust in thine own
in
beauty.
his wisdom and laws.
In thine own beauty.
Go ahead.
And playest the hardest.
See how the mind,
That's
if
right.
the wisdom is not the forefront, if it's about the outward appearance, you'll start to trust in that. You'll think like, oh, my tight ass skirt got me that job. Oh, my tight skirt got me that man. And that's what, how do we know that's real? Because ain't that what they promote? When y'all get a chance, the grown-ups, go look at that Cardi B video. Go look at that Nicki Minaj video. You'll be like, whoa. I was like, sitting in the car in front of the grocery store, do my grocery store thing, and I was like, man, let me watch this video. Everybody's talking about it. I was like, okay. We have went to an all new high low.
Bruh,
We went to a high low.
I kept saying it. I didn't think the bar was gonna fall lower than Nicki Minaj, and it did.
Check this out. Remember
It did.
when Justin Timberlake pulled off Janet Jackson's shirt and her breast popped out? And they lost their mind and like put this dude under the ground and put Janet under the ground. These chicks is walking around in the video like that, like it's nothing. No, and everybody's yay, booby, right? Like,
And then when you see people online, everybody online is defending it. Yeah, girl power.
It's girl power. It's their body.
The women movement. Women got to support women. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No slut shaming here. But there's some hoes in this house, right? What's that?
Yeah, Cardi B posted that she made the video to empower women.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They think that empowering women is to get them to be butt-ass naked. See, the crazy part was at least the women back in this day, they used like clothing because they were still covered, right? They were like, wait a minute, I can't just be out here butt naked. I ain't gonna get nothing like that. We're gonna trust in the beauty of our attire. Now they're teaching our women to trust in the beauty of plastic surgery, their breasts, their booty, the butt shots. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So he said you trusted in your beauty. Go ahead.
And playest the hardest.
Did what?
And playest the hardest.
Right? Because of what? Read.
Because of thy renown.
Because you are now known. That renowned, you know, like when you're world renowned, somebody knows you for something, you're famous. The Most High said you played the harlot because of that. Because now your beauty, the outward appearance, the braided hair, the hair color, the makeup. Think about it, man. Think about the makeup industry and why they have Rihanna and why they have, was that Kylie Jenner in that video?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why they have Kylie Jenner, right? Why they have, like the L'Oreal commercials and maybe it's Maybelline and they have your favorite celebrity at the time, right? At one minute it was Britney Spears, it was Christina Aguilera, they was all doing it. Think about why they pump that to our women, because they want them to be known for how much makeup they got caked on. And is my lip gloss popping or not? Is my foundation matching or not?
It's also, I mean, there's of course that's one of the strategies that they use because it goes along with like, is it like conceit and
Yeah.
you know, and quote unquote like making your self-esteem higher.
Right.
But there's also like during the Depression.
Oh, Mary Kay.
During the Depression.
Talking about that?
Well, during the Depression, like even with like the crash of the market,
Mhm.
the Great Depression.
Mhm.
Do you know makeup was the only industry that didn't suffer?
Yeah, because that's when Mary Kay came on the market.
Yep.
Damn.
Makeup did
Yeah.
not. The makeup industry
Did not suffer.
Did not suffer
Yeah.
one bit.
You're going into my next class.
No,
No,
you're
I'm
good.
not.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
he ain't talking about that. No, I'm playing. No, but that's when the Mary Kay came on the market and they started giving women jobs and
Yep.
everybody was selling Mary Kay. But what was it always about? This outward adorning, this outward appearance. It was never like, oh, what's in a person's spirit? Is this woman intelligent? Remember Mrs. Jane Cleaver?
Yeah.
Leave It to Beaver's mom?
Oh yeah.
Leave It to Beaver's mom was dope. Why? Because she sat in that kitchen and baked her ass off, right? She always had a pumpkin, baked apple pie steaming in the windowsill.
Gone.
So when you walked in that house, you felt invited because oh my God, warm apple pie, right? Or she had some baked goods. I'm not saying that you got to sit in the kitchen and bake all day to be a woman, but I'm showing you the transition from that to now Kylie Jenner is a billionaire off of her makeup line.
Yep.
Rihanna is a millionaire
She finna be a billionaire.
off of her makeup line because she got that makeup line, right?
And she has like a little lingerie.
And then basically the threads that she tells you to put on, right? It's just thread. It ain't even clothes. But she's a billionaire off of that.
She about to be.
Right? They're billionaires because they're pushing that to our children, and that's what they want your kids to be known for. How scandalous they can look with some tights on. How much makeup.
And you know, little snippet, right? Whenever you look at any kingdom that was about to fall, it's exactly what's happening here with the morality of the people is exactly what happened back then. It's the same thing. Like I was talking to him about it earlier. We hit a scripture in Sabbath class on Saturday where it talked about the Most High didn't bring us into our land because we were good. The Most High brought us into that land because the Canaanites were wicked as hell. That's why he overthrew the Canaanites. They were wicked as hell. And it's the same thing that's happening here in America. But yeah, we're going to bring out a little bit of history in that class, man.
Go to Isaiah real quick, 3. Go to Isaiah 3. This is why we can't trust in the outward beauty, right? Read Isaiah 3:16.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16.
Right, read.
Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty.
Because the daughters of Zion are what?
Are haughty.
They're what?
Are haughty.
Why are they haughty? Why are even the niggas out here is haughty? It ain't even the women no more. It's these dudes. Like, they're more haughty than the women. Because they got a Versace shirt on, or they got double C's, right?
Oh,
Louis, Chanel, this Christian Dior, blah, 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 blah. Versace all over my body. Like, the dudes is more haughty.
They sag their pants to match your shoes.
Yeah, your sagging pants is matching your socks. It's crazy, and it ain't even real underwear. You got on compression pants. It's weird. We're in a very weird time. The nation is haughty. Go ahead.
And walk with stretched forth necks.
Go ahead.
And wanton eyes.
Right, and wanton eyes, because now that you dressing the part, you feel like you can get anything you want. If I look at a man the right way, I can get him with my eyes. I can catch him with my eyelids. This is what's taught to our children. This is what was taught to us. If you put on enough makeup and you just shade it the right way, right? And you contour the foundation, and you got to get your applicator brush and your this brush and your eye stencil. You'll get them, girl. Go ahead.
Walking and mincing.
Go ahead.
As they go.
Yeah, you up in everybody's business making noises. What cartoon was that? When they walked and made the Jetsons? No.
I don't know.
The Flintstones?
Bubble babies.
Maybe Jetsons.
Well, it was one of them shows. The wife walked. It was like
Teletubbies.
No, not that. It was a cartoon. It was a cartoon when the wife walked. She made a mincing sound like.
I know what you're talking about.
No, it's an old
It's an
cartoon,
old
man,
cartoon.
from me and him's era.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, man, it was like the
It
Jetsons
could
or
have
something.
been like Jetsons,
Like,
Flintstones.
she was walking.
Probably
Like,
Jetsons.
yeah, it's probably one of them.
Jetsons.
Go ahead, read on.
And making a tinkling.
Making what?
A tinkling.
Right, she would walk and tinkle like, I'm here. Go ahead.
With their feet.
Right, because, you had that little chain on your ankle. Little ankle jewelry you moving around. You making sure everybody can hear you. Go ahead.
Therefore,
go ahead.
The Lord will smite with a scab the crown.
The same things that you put the beauty in is what hurts you. I'm going to say it again. You put hair weave in because you can't grow hair, but then the hair weave prevents you from growing hair. Because it wasn't the hair weave meant to help you. There was something else going on in your spirit that was preventing you from growing hair. You see how that works? Like the thing you use to help is what hurts? Yeah. And the tighter you pull it, right? The tighter you braid it, the more it pulls out the little bit of hair you don't got. Then when you do rock your real hair, you see the little meme where it's like, what's this? And it's like a ponytail that long. The top of the chick's hair is like this. Because all her hair is pulled out. Because all that weave you've been doing it over the years, trying to rely on that for beauty. Go ahead.
Smite with a scab the crown of the head
Go ahead.
of the daughters of Zion.
Read.
And the Lord will discover their secret parts.
Verse 18 is what I want to go to.
In that day,
right?
The Lord will take away.
He will do what?
Take away.
See, if you rely on these things, if it's about the braided hair, if it's about the look, if it's about, like the one thing that kills me when women say this, I forgot to put my face on today.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Now, you know it's sad when I can wipe your face off with a wet nap, right?
Yeah.
You know it's sad when you cry and your whole face just goes off because you pound on the makeup? I didn't wear my face today. Okay, yeah, you did wear your face. You're natural. You don't need the pounds of makeup. Like, think about this. You wear the pounds of makeup to cover up the bad acne. But the pounds of makeup block your pores. I don't give a damn what makeup you got. I don't care if it's light as powder. It covers your pores. That's what foundation does. It covers your pores and it causes what?
Acne.
It causes what?
Acne.
So the very thing you use to cover the acne is what does what? Causes the acne. You see how they, like, so how really smart are y'all? How smart? If the thing that's causing the issue, you're going to continue to give yourself to that. But it shows you that where's a person's mind? Why is your skin breaking out? What are you eating? What are you thinking? We talked about this Saturday.
That's right.
But then your device that you use to cure the ailment only furthers the problem. That's why the scriptures say our devices are yet uncertain. Hardly do we guess aright. Because instead of trying to figure out the spiritual issue why you break it out and bumping up and going bald, all of a sudden you got alopecia. Go find the spiritual reason why the Most High is trying to show you something. All of us. You got men that got funky smells. And you wonder why. You're not understanding why. Spiritually there's something going on. Where there's something in the law that's not being attained to. The dietary, something, even if you
That's
are
right.
within the law, lawfully, you could be giving yourself to too much meat. We went over it. That cadaverine smell and putrescine, all that meat gonna have you smelling like dead carcass. So when you sweat and your pores bust open when you sweat, that's what you're gonna give off. Because your body is trying to purge away all the toxin. And it gives it off in your urine, your feces, your sweat, biggest organ, to absorb and to release. So, examining yourself would allow us to see these things. Go ahead, read on.
The Lord will take away the bravery
Right.
of their tinkling ornaments.
The things you put bravery in, the Most High is going to take it or use it against you. You want to be brave in that weave, them bundles? Guess what? That's all you're going to have is bundles with no hair to attach onto them. Because every time you pull out a bundle, a piece of your hair is coming out. Every time you get that perm, what's happening? Damn, a whole nother patch fell out. Now you just got to rock a whole wig. Go ahead.
About their feet.
Right, go ahead.
And their calls.
Right.
And their round tires.
Right, so I wanted to get to that point. Go back to Peter's. He'll take away these things if this is what we rely on. So he's not saying it's wrong to have them. It's okay to have them. Sisters can look beautiful with head wraps on and dresses and makeup. You can look good. Look good for your man. But that better not be your calling card. Like that's all you got to come to the table with.
Yep.
One thing I noticed is that in all these instances that you even went to,
Read.
and the positive and on the negative, he never said, or the Most High never said, I put on her a pair of pants.
Ooh.
Or never said she put on a pair of pants and
Right.
adorned herself with beauty.
It never said that.
It never said that.
Mm-hmm.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3.
Go ahead.
Whose adorning,
Right.
let it not be that outward adorning,
Right.
of plaiting the hair.
Because you can plait your hair. You can plait your hair. That's braids. Plaiting the hair is plaiting, braids. You can do that. Go ahead.
And of wearing of gold.
Go ahead.
Or of putting on of apparel.
Right, because if you couldn't braid your hair, that means you couldn't put on apparel. Apparel is clothing. So that's how we know it's not wicked or wrong. You're supposed to put on clothing. He was saying, don't let those things be the forefront and the only thing that you have going for you. Go ahead.
But let it be the hidden man,
Right.
of the heart.
Come on.
And that which is not corruptible.
Not what?
not
Because
corruptible.
what corrupts a lot of people is the attire. Man, I'm trying to get this Louis belt. What do I got to do for it? These women, right? Listen to them Cardi B lyrics. They blew my mind. And I listened to the edited version. I was like, whoa. They put the bar up a notch. And they went up a level of just filth, but they took it and sunk black women. Not all. But the ones that followed them, they sunk them so far into the ground with that video and the lyrics. The song starts out, there's some hoes up in here.
There's some holes in this house.
There's some hoes in this house. No, he didn't say whores. He said hoes. And he chants it, and they... You little kids don't listen. Read on.
Even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit,
Again, an ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. Go ahead.
which is in the sight of power of great price.
Go ahead.
For after this manner,
Which manner? Go ahead.
after this manner,
Right.
in the old time,
Right.
the holy women also,
Wait, who did this?
the holy women also,
The holy women that did what? Read.
who trusted in
Who
God,
trusted in their braids,
in God,
the Louis bag,
in God,
money.
in God,
Go ahead.
adorn themselves,
Read.
being in subjection,
Being in what?
in subjection
Come on.
unto their own husbands.
Right. See, that's what it was about. It was about how can I follow my husband, still look beautiful for him, but stay in the parameters of what the Most High says is beautiful. A lot of us got it twisted, man. And if you let TV tell you, if you let TV dictate it, if you let Cardi B and Nicki Minaj dictate it, I mean, to their standard, everybody up in here is ugly. The whole world is ugly compared to their standard. If you ain't walking around with boob out, with 2 nipple cups,
But they're both fake.
but that's my point.
Everywhere.
But that's my
Face,
point.
body.
They push that that's the beauty. Bro, 99% of the women in the world can attain to that type of level. Because they ain't got the money to do it. To get all the plastic surgery 4 or 5 times, to have a baby, and just go get lipo right after. Y'all gotta go exercise. Right? Y'all have a baby, y'all gotta go exercise that baby weight off and breastfeed to get it naturally gone. But Cardi B, listen, she had her little baby daughter, and 2 weeks later, she didn't even have no baby. And Cardi B ain't young. Let's be real. Like, she ain't like a little teenager that can snap back. No, she's not. Okay? She went and got plastic surgery, lipo, Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know her background, but to me, she needs to put on some damn clothes. They both do. But again, they push that imagery that's what the epitome of beauty is. And if you don't look like them, you ain't beautiful. But who can attain to that? Well, the righteous women ain't caring about that.
That's right.
Right? Read verse 5 one more time, please.
For after this manner,
Right?
in the old time,
Right. The matter was, it wasn't about the outward appearance. It wasn't about my braided hair. It wasn't about my gold, my silver, my jewels. You know what it was about? How well do I listen to my husband? That's what made a woman beautiful.
That's right.
How well do I listen? That's what made her attractive in the olden days. You notice I said that, the woman of the old days, because they know, Peter knew. These new, man, these modern hoes is different. They different, they moving like hoes, man. Think about it, the bar, remember back in the 80s, man, a hooker, she used to at least have on fishnet stockings, and she had on the mini skirt that still went to her knee, and the most scandalous thing was she was showing some shoulder, right? She was showing a little shoulder because she had the off little thing.
Right, it'd be like,
Right.
be like that.
Yeah, it'd be like that. She shows some shoulder. Hey boy, you want to have a good time? Right? That was her little call line. Hey big boy, right? That was like the 80s. Now you walk down Bissonnette and you just see 2 cheeks moving. They walking through there with straight up nothing on.
Right.
Thongs on. T-shirt shirt. What's the shirt? Was a t-shirt with a dress? A t-shirt dress or a man's shirt, but it's still cut so high you just see cheek. But then the crazy part is they be in the mall like that. Regular ass women with their daughters. So a whore's attire has very drastically changed. But now that's the regular attire. When you can just wear spandex to everything. Church, weddings, funerals. They got dress-up spandex. Got the white line that goes down the side, make you look business-like. You got the business spandex, right? Got pockets. You got the Lululemons that come in all different types of colors. It ain't just black. And they know how to cup and curve every avenue of a woman's body. You be seeing muscles that, man, you like, I never knew that existed. Why? Because they're trying to lower the bar. They're raising the bar, but lowering the bar, if you understand what I'm saying. Right? Somebody had their hand up. There you go back. Yeah.
That's like, if you see Offset, he posted the picture of Cardi B in that leopard where her boobs are out. And
I didn't
he's
see
like,
it.
I'm so proud of my wife. She's so creative. I'm the luckiest man.
Like, what did she create? A new way to be naked?
Right.
I really thought that they digitally imposed that. I thought that was like digital, but then I looked, I was like, those are her real breasts. She's really out there in them streets. They got to do a little bit of better work because they're a little crooked. But, let you jump back. Go ahead.
Go to Judith chapter 11, verse 17.
She got a little sag in the left side.
Judith chapter 11, verse 17.
Go ahead.
For thy servant is religious.
So Judith was saying she was what?
Thy servant is religious.
Go ahead.
And serveth the Most High of heaven, day and night.
So this is just to show, like, Judith is reminding so this is when Judith finally runs into the captain of the army, and she's reminding him, listen, I'm religious. I serve the Most High day and night. So think about it. We read earlier about how Judith, she decked herself out, right? Mm-hmm. But she's showing, even with her decking herself out, that she's still a follower of the Most High. So you can see Judith didn't deck herself out like Cardi B or like Rihanna or Megan Thee Stallion. She still did it in a righteous way. So jump to Romans chapter 13, verse 14.
I have a question.
What's up?
Why in the scripture does it say, for thy servant is religious?
Let's look up the definition of religious.
To be religious just meant you did something like on a schedule. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a bad connotation of the word religious.
Oh, okay.
Right? So when it's like Paul. Paul was religious. Right? Paul was a prisoner of Yahweh Shai. You know, when you go to that root word of religion, it means to be a prisoner. Right? So she was reminding them that, wait a minute, I follow the Most High. Like I'm not stepping off my game just because you see me dressed up nicely. I'm not stepping away from my everyday norm. You see that? So that's all it is. The word, you know, you look at that word. What scripture was that?
It's Judith chapter 11, verse 17.
Right. Let's see what it says here in the annotated.
And I got a definition for religious. Remember, they tend to change definitions.
That too.
As time goes on, but one of the definitions for religious is pious,
right,
godly,
and that's what I was
loving and reverencing the supreme being, perfect, and obeying his precepts, perfect, as a religious man or woman,
perfect, pious. That's another thing. Like when you say somebody's religious or pious,
yeah,
pious just means respect to God. Yeah. What was that? Judith
11 verse 17. Judith 11 and 17.
I'll let you go on.
But yeah, so she's reminding him, you know, she serves the Most High, right?
Like, don't get no ideas.
Yeah, like you
dressing nice, all of a sudden you're gonna try to think, right? I'm gonna fall into that life.
No. Go to Romans chapter 13, verse 14, and then somebody else give me John chapter 1 and verse 47. So I guess I'm pretty sure we knocked out the carnal side of everything, right? The carnal side of the clothing. Now let's see the spiritual side of the clothing and what you should be covered with. Read.
Romans chapter 13, verse 14.
Go ahead.
But put ye on the Lord Yahushai Hamashiach.
The scripture says what?
Put on the Lord Yahushai Hamashiach.
The scripture say to put on Yahushai, right? So how do you put on Yahushai? How do you do that? How can you wear Yahushai? Read.
and make not provision for the flesh.
So that's how you make. By you putting on Yahweh Shai, you won't make provisions for the flesh. Go ahead.
To fulfill the lust thereof.
So this is the clothing that we really want to be clothed with. Where we're not making provisions for the flesh and where we're not being lustful. Who got John chapter 1 verse 47?
John chapter 1 verse 47.
And then somebody give me Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 1. Go ahead.
Yahweh Shai saw Nathanael coming to him and said of him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, in whom is no guile.
So Yahweh Shai saw Nathanael coming to him, right? He never even spoke with Nathanael. But he sees him coming and he's like an Israelite indeed. The only thing Yahweh Shai could go off of was carnally. The only thing he could go off is off of him was how he was dressed, right? But what is it about your spirit? Because you can't just say an Israelite indeed just because somebody's wearing fringes and a head wrap and a dress. It don't work like that. What will make Yahweh Shai say to this man, he's an Israelite indeed? Easy. Ecclesiastes 8 and 1.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 1.
Go ahead.
Who is as the wise man?
Go ahead.
And who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine.
A man's what?
Wisdom maketh his face to shine.
See, your wisdom, that's what's going to make your face shine. Con, you can have on the nice clothes, but you got to remember, it's the way you carry yourself. People are going to see the way you carry yourself. People are going to see the way you deal. People are going to know you by your reputation. It's your wisdom. That's what's going to make you shine. Like when Moses came down from the mountain, he came down from the mountain, his face was shining.
Because of the wisdom, because of the things he saw.
Just think about it right now. Don't y'all's face shine? Our faces, come on, man. Your face shines to your family members right now. They can't even comprehend you. Your face shine when you're at work. Well, it should. I hope it does. Your face shines when it's at work. These people don't know what the hell happened to you or why you're like this or why you carry yourself like this. Why you're not jamming this Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion BS song. They wonder why, right? There's a scripture I'm trying to find, man, in Esther. Go to John chapter 29 and verse 14.
John chapter 29.
Oh, my bad, not John, Job. The book of Job, chapter 29 and verse 14.
Job chapter 29 verse 14. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me.
You put on what?
Put on righteousness, and it clothed me.
So righteousness is what's supposed to clothe you.
That's right.
Go ahead.
My judgment.
My what?
My judgment.
My what?
My judgment.
Your judgment. Go ahead.
Was as a robe, and a diadem.
Somebody look up the word diadem. The scripture says that righteousness is what's supposed to clothe you, and your judgment is going to be as a robe and a diadem to you. And you know what's the problem with a lot of our people? I'm not going to say it's a problem, but it is a problem. When you first come into the truth, see, this is what we were never taught. We were never taught to have proper judgment. So the way we did things was off. Right. Our discernment was off.
Right.
And now coming into the truth, a lot of people ask, okay, I know I'm an Israelite. I know I'm supposed to wear fringes. I know I'm supposed to wear a dress. But now what? What do I do now? What do I do next? Well, it's a constant fight to make your judgment on point. It's a constant fight to put on righteousness, but your judgment always got to be on point. Your discernment always got to be on point. But when your judgment and your discernment is on point, it's going to be like a robe and a diadem. Who has the definition for diadem?
I got it.
Go ahead.
Diadem. Anciently a headband or a fillet worn by kings as a badge or royalty.
Nice. So a diadem was worn by a king or somebody royal. So your judgment, that makes you become like a king or a queen. Go to Psalms chapter 132 and verse 9. Man, I was trying to find the scripture in Esther. I couldn't find it. What did it say? But it talks about how the king loved Esther. King loved Esther.
About Ashley? Oh, no.
Yeah. No, not Vashti.
Not Ashley.
Say he loved Esther. I forgot to throw it in there. You got that?
Psalms chapter 132, verse 9.
Go ahead.
Let thy priests be clothed with righteousness.
Listen, if you're a man, if you're a brother in this truth, your righteousness is what should be your clothing. Again, not saying that, what is it? 2:17. Somebody give me Esther 2 and verse 17. Again, not saying that you don't care for your appearance or take care of the way you look, but your righteousness, you should be clothed with righteousness, man. Read.
And let thy saints shout for joy.
Con, somebody give me Esther 2 and 17. This is going to make y'all think right here.
Esther chapter 2, verse 17.
Go ahead.
And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight.
Now think about this, y'all. So if y'all know the story of Esther, at this time Vashti acted up, the king kicked her out, and the king was looking for pretty much a new queen, right? So he called all the fair virgins that was in his land. So Esther ended up being one of them, right?
Right. That's right.
He had a whole bunch of them. But read it from the top, verse 17. Think about this.
Esther chapter 2, verse 17. And the king loved Esther above all the women.
The scripture says that the king loved Esther above all the women. Why do y'all think he loved Esther above all the women? Remember, Esther was the scripture doesn't talk about there being any other Israelite women there with him. The scripture talks about Esther. So it's safe to assume that Esther was the only Israelite woman there. Now the king said, it says that the king loved Esther above all the women. I want y'all to think, why would he love Esther above all the women?
Dark skin?
Well, those other dark-skinned women.
Oh, okay.
There was all he wasn't just the king of his nation. We were under servitude to him, and he had other nations that was under servitude to him too. So he got the women from all the lands that was pretty much around him, including his women. So it was safe to say that there was other dark-skinned women there as well. But why do y'all think that he loved Esther above all the other women? Bandana.
Because of her spirit.
Benaiah. Go ahead.
Because of her spirit, and he could see it in her face that she wasn't just some whore or some down person, always angry. He could see that she was a joyous person, that
That's
she
right.
was happy.
Perfectly said. You was gonna say something, Song?
I mean, that's it.
Perfectly said. You know why? Oh man, my tablet died. I'm gonna show y'all why. Go to damn, did I not put it in here? Go to wow. Like as a whore envy of the righteous woman. Damn, I didn't put that in there.
Esdras.
Slacky, y'all. My tablet died.
Yeah, it's first Esdras, right?
Read verse 17 again. Yeah, I think so.
The book of Esther, chapter 2, verse 17. And the king loved Esther above all the women, and she obtained grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins.
So Esther obtained grace and mercy and favor in his sight more than all the other women, right? Go ahead.
So that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her queen instead of Vashti.
So he chose her over all these women, right? I'm going to show y'all something.
2nd Esdras 16:49.
Go to 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and verse 49.
Woo! 2nd Esdras.
Yes.
Chapter 16, verse 49.
Yep.
Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman.
Like, read that again.
Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman.
Scripture says a whore is going to envy a right, honest, and virtuous woman. You know why? It's say the scripture again.
2nd Esdras, chapter 16, verse 49.
So 2nd Ezra 16 and 49. Scripture says a whore envious a right and honest and virtuous woman. Ooh. You know why? Because all these other women, they were about that outward appearance. They were about the way they dressed and all that. But Esther was different. Esther wasn't about all that. Esther was about her spirit. And guess what? It don't matter if you throw it off as a man. It don't matter if you're a righteous man or you're a wicked man. You're always going to love the righteous woman more than you love a whore. It's just that simple. Now, if you wicked in the world, you wouldn't know what to do with a righteous woman. But a whore, you would always pick a righteous woman over a whore. And that's why the king chose Esther over all the women. Because Esther had some virtue. She had some virtuous characteristics about her. It wasn't just about her garments. It wasn't just about the way that she dressed. So, in going to the scripture, I want y'all to think about the world that we live in today. Especially with this music video that just dropped, which we're going to do a new show on. I want y'all to think about it. How much y'all got to shine. The scripture talks about, the scriptures that we hit, right? It says that wisdom was going to make your face shine in this world, right? It says that righteousness was supposed to clothe you and your judgment should be a diadem. With all that, you're going to have a lot of women that's lost. They're going to look at y'all and they're going to be like, man, how can I get like you? If they care. But if they don't care, they're just going to be like this. They're going to envy y'all. They're going to envy y'all, man. You going to say something?
I was going to say, you got to think about it. The world, it's like when the world sees a woman be submissive to a man, they instantly go into, girl, why you letting them talk to you like that? I'm trying to do my best Judith female impression. Girl, why you let him talk to you like that? Mm-hmm. Girl, you know you don't need him. Get you another man that's going to love you, right? But why does the scripture say a whore will envy a pure, honest, and righteous woman? Yep. Why? You got to ask yourself. We know right now. The righteous and honest women are envying the whores, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. It flips upside down. We know that the whores they winning right now, as far as who's trying to follow who. The whole world is trying to follow that whorish spirit, that whorish attire, that hoe talk. Yeah. Right? Women calling each other's bitchs, right? I don't want to say it because we got kids in here, right? And the way the women talk and they right, and they just move around and they just got weird head movements in their hands and I'm gonna pull up and all the stuff that you dumb, you so dumb and all that, They got the righteous envying the whore, but there was a time that the whore envied the righteous. Why? I want to know what y'all think. Why? What was it about the honest, virtuous, righteous woman that a whore had to envy her? I want a sister first. Go ahead. I want to see if they think. I want to hear what they got to say.
I think respect, because they trusted the virtuous woman. Meaning, even if you go back to Proverbs 31,
right?
They said the husband do trust her, so she was virtuous and she was upright.
Oh, so the man trusted her is what you're saying? Okay.
So the men would really trust them. They wouldn't really trust the whore.
Can you trust a hoe?
You can't.
So they
Right. These hoes ain't loyal. Right. Chris Brown said it, right?
If she was for everybody, she could be trusted.
I would die.
That's what I was going to say. The whore envied the righteous woman because the men preferred the righteous woman and someone that was well kept and well behaved and listened, as opposed to someone who let a man do anything to her, and she was open.
Or multiple men do anything to her.
Like that's not a woman that the man would want to take home.
We're not going to finish. You got to do the next verse now.
So
right?
they envied that.
Kind of like that. She said, like the harlot, they just want to sleep with you. They don't want to take you home. They don't want to have children with you. If you got one pregnant, you're like,
Right? Where's the abortion clinic at? Right? You got one of them pregnant. You was like, oh my God. What did it say? She take my money, but I'm in need. Oh, she's a gold digger. A friend in need. Right? She be way over.
They want to, they want to have children with. They want to have lots of children with. They want to keep around. They want everyone to see them. They're like, yeah, that's my wife right there. Hey.
Now, how come? I'm not gonna say y'all, but how come women? If the woman, don't y'all realize that deep down in a man's spirit,
Bring it out.
he don't want no hoe, and he wants nothing. And you know why I say deep down in our spirit? Because we've been taught to chase hoes. We've been taught to chase a certain type of attire, a certain type of look, a certain type of speech pattern, a certain type of a woman that does certain things. We've been taught to chase that. Just whether it be example, we look at the example of like what our pops, what our homeboys dealt with, our older male family, and we thought that we looked at our moms like, well, my dad picked her, so she must be right. When we look at moms, not saying everybody's mom is a hoe, but hoes got many characteristics, and one of them characteristics was her pride and her speech. It wasn't just, remember, there was a whore's attire.
Yep.
There was a hoe's attire, right? It said the attire of a harlot, the eyelids, right? But wasn't there also the flattering of the lips? That hoes would talk with, oh, baby, it's okay, right? He's like, no, let's get no, baby, no. And she would butter him down with her lips, or just overpower him with her tongue. It was a whore's speech. Now, I'm not calling anybody in here no hoe. I'm not saying that. But some of y'all got to change up the way you talk to your man, because that's how them hoes be talking. With that aggressive, loud, I'm the boss, you're not, you step back, what I say goes type talk. Or you may not be loud and aggressive, but you may be, they try to come real soft and angel tone. It's like a mixture of Fergie and Jesus. It's like an angel, like you try to come with that angelic tone, but it's to deceive him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, baby, and then you know how to stroke the shoulder to throw him off. He's like, oh, damn. And then she talking to me good, because she's like, oh, it's kindness, but it's deceit. Whores know how to talk their way into a situation. They don't got to be loud and boisterous, but they know what smooth words to use and how to deceive their man and maneuver through conversations and wiggle their way out of stuff. There's a mentality behind a hoe, a whore. There's a mentality behind it that you have to make sure you haven't picked up or that you've dropped, because again, just like we've been taught to chase certain things in women, y'all been taught as women to have those things, to rely on those things, right? So go back to Judith.
Please unlock your device first.
Nah.
Wait. No. It's all good.
No, go ahead.
No, I said Judith. I meant Esdras, but no, it's all good. We already read it. Go back to where he was going. I just wanted to pose that question.
Go to Ecclesiastes.
Ecclesiastes chapter 26, verse 22. And a harlot shall be accounted as spittle.
I was actually just gonna go here.
Golly. Ouch.
For why a whore would envy a righteous woman.
Yeah, she's nothing. You use her and you toss her.
Con. So, read it again from the top.
That is.
Let it sink.
And harlot shall be accounted as spittle.
But why? Because truthfully, she counts her. That's how she looks at herself.
Right.
She doesn't want better for herself. She sees the righteous woman. She sees what the righteous woman got, but she don't even want to. She don't want to even attempt to be like that. You got the other scripture that says that a woman that liveth in pleasure is dead while she lives, right?
Yep.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
The righteous woman, she's not living in pleasure. She is to an extent, but she's not living in carnal pleasure.
Right. It's not for.
It's not for the partying.
Right.
It's not for the strip clubs. It's not for the
Right.
revelings. It's not for the weave. It's not for the clothes. It's not for the attention.
I gotta try out 10 niggas to make sure I'm sexually compatible with them before
Yeah.
I marry one. Cause ain't that what they teach? Like you gotta be sexually compatible.
It's not for the drugs, the alcohol, the dancing, you know what I mean? Like acting wild when you with your girls. It's not. The righteous woman ain't on that. So the scripture says that a wicked woman or a harlot is going to be counted as spit, right? But truthfully, that's just how she looks at herself, and she's made herself into that. So read on.
But a married woman.
But a who?
A married woman.
Go ahead.
Is a tower against death to her husband.
But see, the harlot is going to break the husband down. That's why they don't usually have husbands, because a man usually don't want that. But if you get with a woman and she's gonna cheat on you, if she cheats on you, like the scripture says, a righteous woman will build her house, but a wicked woman teareth it down, right? That harlot is gonna tear down everything. She's gonna tear down you. She's gonna tear down the kids.
Yeah.
Why? Because she's already torn down herself. So definitely not something that you want, and that's one of the reasons why a whore would envy a righteous woman.
They get used up, man.
Con. And there's really nothing to offer. It's like when you look at Cardi B said in the song, and I hate referring back to the song, but she said, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I have the ring.
Yeah, I heard that.
So,
Oh, the lyrics was raunchy.
like, I don't cook, I don't clean, but I have a ring.
So are you really a wife? And we don't want to change the subject into that, but yeah, that's what they push. That's what they promote. Because she got big breasts, big booty. She got a plastic surgery face, and she got an accent.
God.
And then Offset's just an idiot too. So yeah. But look what he been taught to chase.
2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 38. That's it. 2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 38.
2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 38.
And then somebody give me Isaiah chapter 52 and verse 1. Go ahead.
2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 38. Arise up and stand.
Because this right here is what you're going to want to be clothed in. Read.
That's right. Behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Most High.
This is what you want to be clothed in. You want to be clothed. You want to be wearing this white garment when it's time for that feast of Yahweh Shai. And what was going to happen in that feast of Yahweh Shai? What did he say? I will not drink this wine until I drink it with you in the kingdom.
Right.
So just like the Passover, when we all break the bread and we all take the bitter herbs, and we all sip that cup together. Listen, this is where you want to be clothed. Where at Passover, when we all take that sip together, we want to be in the kingdom, clothed in our nice garments, just like a Passover, hitting that wine with Yahweh Shai, like he said. Go ahead.
Verse 39. Which are departed from the shadow of the world.
It says that they're departed from the shadow of the world.
That's right.
So how do you get sealed in this feast? How do you put on this garment? Well, you got to take off the old garment first. You got to take off the old garment with its ways, right? Hold that and go to Isaiah 59 and 6. Somebody give me Isaiah 59 and 6.
59 and 6?
Yeah.
Isaiah chapter 59, verse 6.
Go ahead.
Their webs shall not become garments.
Go ahead.
Neither shall they cover themselves with their works.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Their works are works of iniquity.
Go ahead.
And the act of violence is in their hands.
Yeah, man. This is what we got to get off of us to put on that righteous garment that the Most High wants us to have on. Because right now, man, we're covered with the works of our iniquity. And we're covered with the works of our past lives. Well, you know, we want to put that off so that we can be in this feast. Read verse 39 again, Ricardo.
2nd Esdras chapter 2, verse 39.
Yes, sir.
Which are departed from the shadow of the world.
Yes, sir.
And have received glorious garments of the Lord.
That's what we want. Go ahead.
Verse 40. Take thy number, O Zion, and shut up those of thine that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Most High.
This is what we try. This is what we're working for. This is the garment that we want to be clothed in. You know what's dope about this class? We hit the carnal. We hit the carnal aspect. We hit the aspect that we gave the balance on it. But now this is the end. This is the end all be all. When you finally finish that race, man, and you get clothed with that garment, you can stand there, stand with your chest out and be bold. Go to Isaiah 52:1.
God. Isaiah chapter 52 verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean.
Kind. You put on your beautiful garments. Now you're clean, man. You take off those old old ways, those old thoughts, those old actions. That's what the scripture is saying, man. We done woke up, so now it's time for us to put on our beautiful garments. Now it's time for us to shine when we walking down the street, when we going through the grocery store, when we in the house with our husbands and our wives and our kids. It's time for us to shine. Go ahead.
Shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion.
Go ahead.
For thus saith the Most High, ye have sold yourself for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money.
You know, it's just like when Judith put on the sackcloth and she started beautifying herself. It's the same thing now, man. We done woke up in our captivity, and now it's time to put off those old ways that we learned. Just like we've been going over. Cardi B, Offset, Megan Thee Stallion, this is what they pushing on us. But we got to make sure that we put all that stuff off. Go to Baruch 5:2. Baruch chapter 5 and verse 2. Start at verse 1, actually. I guess, yeah, start at verse 1.
Baruch, got it. Baruch 5:1.
Go ahead.
1 and 5?
No, 5:1.
5:1.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Put off, O Jerusalem, the garment of thy mourning and affliction, and put on the comeliness of the glory that cometh from God forever.
And you know what that garment of mourning and affliction is? That garment of mourning and affliction is exactly what you see that's going on right now. In the way that our people dress and carry themselves, the way their judgment is, how they have no judgment, how they have no discernment, how they have no wisdom, no knowledge, no understanding. That's what the Most High is telling us to put off, because that shows that we're in a state of mourning. And we're going to touch on it maybe in a week or two of this class that I'm preparing, but the estate that you see the estate that you see the people in America are at right now, the moral and the civil code that is completely gone, that's what's gone in every country before the country gets destroyed. The Most High is the one that destroys it. That's what happens to every that's what happens to every country, every nation. That's what happens to the people before the whole nation just collapsed. And that's exactly what's happening here. The Most High, He's finna deliver us, man. He's finna deliver us. You can see it. We don't got to do nothing but just sit back and relax. Put on our nice garments. Put on our spiritual garments as well, and just watch the show. But try to get others to put their garments on as well. But this place is coming down. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Mm-hmm. Cast about thee a double garment of the righteousness, which cometh from the Most High.
Yeah, man. We gotta be twice as righteous, especially in these times. The scripture says that when you serve the Most High, you can't serve Him enough. And when you exalt Him, you can't exalt Him enough, right? The scripture also says, It's in 4 and 28. Read verse 4 and 28. Baruch 4 and 28.
For as it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
Listen, the same way when you messed up regarding the Most High, you had to seek him hard 10 times harder. It's the same way the Most High is telling us right here in Baruch 5 and 2. Bruh, you got to put on a double garment of righteousness. Even if you feel like you're righteous, don't ever feel like you're righteous. Even if you're doing righteous, don't feel like you're actually doing righteous. Go harder, especially in these times.
Like, don't feel like you attained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You can always go harder. You can always do better. Let that be your garment. Let that be your superhero cape. Go ahead.
Read on 29.
No, back to Baruch 5 and 2.
Okay, 5 and 2.
Yes, sir.
And set a diadem on thine head of the glory of the everlasting.
Yeah, man. Put that crown on. Put that crown on. And like we hit in the scripture earlier, that diadem was supposed to be your knowledge. Like the diadem goes on your head. That diadem was your judgment. It's your knowledge and your wisdom. So you put on that double garment of righteousness, but put that diadem in your head too, where your knowledge is on point. So if you don't have knowledge, y'all better be studying. Study so you can have some knowledge to fight fight Satan. But make sure that your judgment is on point. Make sure that your discernment is on point. Have the knowledge, then have the discernment, and then make the proper judgments. Go ahead. Verse 3.
Okay, verse 3.
Yeah, my bad.
For the Most High will show thy brightness unto every country under heaven.
Con, and that's what's happening, man. Go ahead.
For thy name shall be called of the Most High forever. The peace of righteousness and the glory of the Most High's worship.
Con, go to Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 10. Isaiah chapter 61 and verse 10.
Isaiah chapter 61 verse 10.
And then somebody give me Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and 8 one more time.
I will greatly rejoice in the Most High. My soul shall be joyful in my power. For he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation.
And this is what we want, right? Y'all want that garment of salvation. Go ahead.
He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decked himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels.
Go ahead.
For as the earth bringeth forth her bud, and as the garden causeth the things that are sown in it to spring forth, the Most High power will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations.
And that's what we're fighting for. That's what we're fighting for. But go back to Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 8.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 8.
We had hit this earlier, but this was my closing scripture. Go ahead.
Turn away thine eye from a beautiful woman.
Nah, Ecclesiastes. My bad. Ecclesiastes in the Bible.
Okay.
My bad, brother.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 8.
Go ahead.
Let thy garments be always white.
Listen, the scripture says, let your garments always be white. Always be clean, man. Don't get no stain on your garment. Don't get no stain on your spirit.
That's right.
Strive hard to make sure that your spirit stays pure, white, clean, like fine linen.
That's right.
Make sure that you're always on top of yourself. Go ahead.
And let thy head lack no ointment.
Yeah, man. Stay fresh. Stay clean in the spirit. Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Yes, sir.
Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of the life of thy vanity.
Because guess what? This life is vanity. What the Most High gave you, He blessed you with a wife. He blessed you with kids. Even though those are vanity too. Believe it or not. Those things are vanity too, but they're blessings at the end of the day. So live joyfully with them. Don't live. There got to be peace in the house. There should be no contention. Live joyfully, man. Be happy. Go ahead.
Which he hath given thee under the sun.
Go ahead.
All the days of thy vanity. For that is thy portion in this life.
Go ahead.
And in thy labor which thou takest under the sun.
Con.
Can I add one?
Yes.
Go to Revelations. Go to Revelation 7. You know, just with that white, Let your garments always be white.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that white, it represented that righteousness. You know, and watch, just read it. Go to our Revelations 7:13.
The book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 13.
7 verse 9.
7 verse 9.
Go ahead.
Forgot this one.
After this I beheld, and lo,
Right, so this is going to the 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe, right? And he said, after this, behold, lo, go ahead.
a great multitude,
Right.
which no man could number,
Go ahead.
of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne
Go ahead.
and before the Lamb,
Right.
clothed with white robes
Clothed with white robes. Go ahead.
and palms in their hands.
Go ahead. Jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, what are these which are arrayed in white robes?
Right. What is these that were arrayed with these white garments, right? He said, let your garments always be white. Read.
Saying, and whence came they?
Go ahead. And how did they get here?
Verse
Go ahead.
14.
Uh-huh.
And I said unto him,
Uh-huh.
Sir, thou knowest. He said to me, these are they which came out of great tribulation,
Go ahead.
and have washed their robes,
Uh-huh.
and made them white
Right.
in
Go ahead.
the blood
In
of the
what?
Lamb.
In the what?
In the blood of the Lamb.
Now think about that. How can you make something white in blood? So what is this showing you? When it says, let your garments always be white, what is that telling you?
That one like hold on.
Have on the whole armor. But what it's showing you is, because remember, you can't make something white from red. Blood is red. So they wash their garments to make them white in the blood of the Lamb. Meaning that you are always supposed to live in the lifestyle, in the spirit of Yahweh Shai.
Because the blood is the life.
The blood is the life. And you can't step outside of that. As soon as you do, that's why he said that he goes in and he talks about living always with your wife, having joy and fun, because he was showing you that you can do all those have fun with your rib, take joy. You can do all that in the spirit. You can still walk like Yahweh Shai and take on the lifestyle and still love your wife, love your children, carnally look good, right? Look good, smell good, you can eat good, right? You could do all these things but they would have to be engrafted into the lifestyle. Y'all get that? Right. So
I got one more. We got one more minute. Ecclesiastes, no, not Ecclesiastes. Revelation chapter 19, verse 6.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 6.
Perfect way to end it.
And I heard, as it were the voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters,
Go ahead.
and as the voice of the almighty thunderings, saying, Hallelujah!
there it is.
For the most high power, omnipotent,
Omnipotent.
for the most high power, omnipotent reigneth.
Go ahead.
Let us be glad and rejoice, and give honor to him.
And this is going to be the day of our salvation, man. Go ahead.
For the marriage of the Lamb is come,
Go ahead.
and his wife hath made herself ready.
God, man. Yahweh Shai come back. But the scripture says that we got to make ourselves what?
Ready.
We got to make ourselves ready. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen,
Go ahead.
clean and white.
Go ahead.
For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
God, man. So array yourself in righteousness.
That's right.
And that was the class. That's what we should be clothed in is righteousness.
That's right.
So to sum up everything, do you make yourself look good? Do you make yourself look presentable? Of course, 100%. But is that what it's about?
No.
Hell no. That is not what it's about. And you know how you know that's not what it's about? because we have plenty of examples of people where that is what they're about. Right. And we see how they live. And you look at them like, man, what is going on with you? You know what I'm saying? So that's not, yes, we're going to make ourselves look good, but that's not what it's about. We don't really care about all that. We just like to, the Most High wants us, the Most High beautified us. He wants us to look good. He don't want us to walk around in curtains with the visors. That's not what he wants. We're the salt of the earth. Make yourself look good. But more than all that, make sure that your spirit is on point. Make sure that your spirit is righteous. So that when Yahweh Shai comes, man, you're wearing that fine linen. You know, in the kingdom, you know, you want to be able to spill some wine on your fine linen, you know, while you're drinking with them. I'm just kidding. Gone. Any questions? Gone. Khan. So with that, man, we would like to say shalom to everybody that joined us. There'll be class tomorrow in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia. Again, if you haven't subscribed, make sure that you subscribe to that Norfolk, Virginia class. And
if you want to help out with the school rent, we got the Google Wallet, got the Zelle. All right. If you want to give any alms towards that, you could do so. ISBHPK.com, ISBHPK@gmail.com for the Google Wallet and the Zelle. All right.
Gone. All right. So with that, we'll say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. The Most High is my rock.
TK.
Rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock.
My rock.
The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock.
My rock.
The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on top. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutling. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth.